Whoever she is, it's fine. Or him, but likely her.
Yeah. Hers are way worse.
Don't drag yourself into it. Just get dirty.
I got one thought.
Ready?
I didn't know we were down to the minute.
Yeah. I know.
Oh, good.
We are very excited about our upcoming game. It's a great, great experience. We have a great opportunity to play an outstanding team, but just the overall experience is a great opportunity. And I want to thank John Calipari for really putting this thing together and giving our program the chance to participate in something like this. And he just called me one day a couple years back and had the idea, and it went from there. And he's been so supportive of our program from the very first time he got here, first day he ever showed up on campus. He came over into our office and was positive that day and has been positive every day since. Personally, he's been very supportive of me as a young coach and shared a lot of wisdom with me over the years. So to have a person like that to work with and to promote our program the way that he has, I'm really, really appreciative, and we thank him a lot for that. It's going to be a great opportunity to play one of the most hard-nosed, aggressive, tough basketball programs in the country. Baylor is just really, really tough, have been ever since Coach Mulkey's taken over that program, and it's a program that we have tremendous respect for. It'll be a very, very difficult game. We will have to prepare well to have an opportunity to win. So we're headed down tomorrow with our mind on going down and playing really hard and seeing if we can come back to Lexington with a very significant victory.
So you didn't at any point want to strangle Coach Calipari for setting up this game for you again in Texas?
I did not, no. At no point. It's such a unique opportunity, and you just don't see it done. You don't see anything like this done really anywhere in the country. And Cal knows one thing: he's a lot smarter than I am. So he had the idea, and he called me one afternoon, and I agreed in about 15 seconds. So it wasn't a lot of back and forth on it. It's a great way to showcase the University of Kentucky, bring a lot of great attention to our university, and certainly to our program to be attached to this kind of high-profile event. It's exciting.
So Baylor hasn't fallen off the face of the earth without Brian?
No, the top 10 team. They are, have won 2 national championships and have just been consistently good for over a decade now. And they are one of the really fine women's basketball programs in the country. So Odyssey Sims is probably the best singular talent that I've seen in the country this year. She is really, really amazing. There's some other very talented players, but she is putting up just monstrous numbers right now, and they found a way to increase their scoring average. So they are a very good team, certainly not one-dimensional, and life continues after Brittany Griner. They're alive and well, I can promise you that.
They turn the ball over, I think, 11 times a game. You guys are trying to obviously force 25 plus. Kind of what do you think will be the?
I just think it's really important for us to play good team defense. We need to do everything we can to make the other team uncomfortable, and sometimes that's in the full court with the press. Against U of L on Sunday, it was more in the half court. So no matter where we can find the opportunity, we need to try to make them very uncomfortable. And that's going to be hard work because they have such talented players on the team. So, it's a big challenge for us, especially when you think about going into a brand new environment and not being there before and seeing how all that plays out. But we've got to try to do the best job we can to stay focused on playing Kentucky defense, and that that usually means everybody's involved.
Is the goal still to turn them over 25 times a game, or
Yes.
does it remain for everybody?
Well, that's a minimum goal, and so if you watch film and you feel like you have some advantages that can exceed that, we'll do that. We always try to set a realistic goal, but one that challenges the players. So, to turn a team over 25 times is a staggering amount. It's become the norm for us, and it just tells you how hard our kids have worked over the years. But 25 against a top 10 team, that's a real challenging number, and you want to play hard enough to try to approach that. Like we did on Sunday, we were able to get to 24 for U of L, and it's hard to do. It's not easy.
When you're shooting as well as you guys are, do you worry about going into a giant arena setting, and is there any way to really prepare for that when you get a chance to go shoot there?
I've just always tried to not spend a lot of time on things that I have no control over. So it may bother some coaches. It doesn't bother me. There's not anything I can do about it. The game is going to be played where it's going to be played. We will go practice tomorrow. We will get back in there on Friday and take advantage of our game day practice slot. We'll do everything we can to help the players get prepared to shoot in there. But our teams have shot poorly in Memorial Coliseum. They've shot poorly at different places. I mean, they've shot well on the road before. So I just don't I spend zero time thinking about stuff like that.
Will the men's and women's teams travel together? Will you guys get to spend time together? And
We will. We'll travel down, and that was one of the things when it was first proposed that John said he wanted to do, was everybody travel together and make it a great experience, a unique experience, a one-of-a-kind type deal. So we will all get on the plane together tomorrow and head down to Dallas. So it's a lot of fun. It's very, very unique. It's very exciting, and we're just very appreciative to be a part of it.
You guys have built a program in your own right. You draw, you're on television, but is this something you would consider doing more of in the future if you could find ways to pair up the men's and women's games?
Oh, sure. Listen, there's in college basketball, what our men's program has done over more than a century now is they've just created an incredible brand that's as recognizable as any sports brand in the world, and so. I just have always thought you're silly if you don't try to do everything you can to be a part of that. So, and then, Cal is just so supportive, and he's so creative and thinks about things like this, and he didn't have to, he could have gone down there and done this on his own. He could have played the game on his own, and so anytime that we can be involved in positive things, and this is what I've always said about Cal, what I love about him is he's come to Kentucky with positive energy, and we just try to get I try to get around as many positive people as possible, and so I would welcome more opportunities like this.
How different is Baylor without Grinder? What's different about it?
They're very different because they just it was very, very difficult to score around the rim. Just that was one part of your offense that you had to be very skilled, and you had to just be outstanding outside and inside to make Brittany come away from the goal, and very few teams could do that. Very few teams could do that. And so it's very different, but they are still very effective and a tough team, and so I just think that more parts of our offense will be available. We'll still have to execute. We'll still have to work real hard. They're still a formidable opponent, but they are very different.
With Denisha, she said that you said she was being selfish. She was playing poorly in the first half. Do you think this is like something that she can finally wrap her arms around, her head around? The last few games she's not maybe had her best games, but then sort of broke out of that in the second half.
Yeah, she's not selfish in the and I tell our players this, they have to understand, not selfish in the sense that if you needed to borrow $1, she'd lend that to you. She's not selfish that way, but the point I try to make to them is when you make it about yourself, and if you miss 2 layups, or for heaven's sake, man, I can't figure out why these things go on. I tried my best, but so whatever happened, if the draft came through and hit her on the wrong side of the face, or she missed 2 layups, or whatever it was, and you get down and you play with no energy. Kentucky basketball doesn't work without energy and effort and just a real edge to your game. And when you are real lethargic and cool and not into it, our deal does not work. And so I think it was probably the missed shots early on. And so she starts dragging around and won't get on the boards and won't play. To me, you're more worried about your game than you are us winning the game. That's selfish. So all that I ever need her to do is to play with great energy on defense and on the boards, and all the other stuff will figure itself out. She's been concerned about people double and triple teaming her, or the defense is sagging and collapsing on her. Samari Walker's not worried about that. She's going to get her own touches on the offensive glass. You can, just through your energy, if you're as talented as Denisha, you can give people all sorts of difficulties. And so that's what we'll just continue to try to encourage her. I'm just trying to coach her much harder in practice. You know, you want these kids to take responsibility for themselves, and for the most part they do. But I've changed my approach in practice. I'm going after it every day. The only way that we are going to be unsuccessful is if we do it to ourselves this season. We have an outstanding group of young women that are very talented. We're very fast, athletic, aggressive. There's all sorts of things. The only people that can stop us is ourselves. And we must practice with an edge and a tenacity that ensures that we're going to take the game floor that way.
I don't know how else to say it. You're just being more of an ass this season, or are you being difficult,
gracious.
or like how are you?
Well, I mean, that's
your
just,
approach?
I wouldn't put it that way. But I am being more intense. And I've been intense, but you know, you have a good team, you have a veteran team. Every team, I just try to give the benefit of the doubt. And that deal Sunday could have gone the wrong way, and it would have been, in my mind, because of our approach to the game. So, you know, I have to take responsibility for getting the team prepared. That's part of my job, and so we can't take it for granted that we're going to be ready to go. So the only way I know how to get it done is in practice. So we're really trying to practice out of our mind right now. We're trying to practice really hard with a high level of intensity. That's how we're going to have to play Friday night to have a chance to win. There's no 2 ways about it. That one thing I know about a Kim Mulkey team is they're going to be aggressive and tough and hard-nosed, and that's where Kentucky needs to be, because if we are, we're going to have a good season.
Anything else?
Is there anything else that I can expound on to help enlighten you folks? Let's just really get fired up. Craig Skinner's coming up. We've got to get out, buy a bunch of tickets. If you're not going to Dallas, get out here and watch them play volleyball this weekend. We're going to punch through to the Sweet 16. God bless everybody. Thank you very much.
That one might be changed to on him being more intense.
I was told one more time. There's no break was now or whether.
Yes, yeah, that was pretty good. It's like, it was longer and like, usually not, the questions are just props. This is so you would be,
I guess they had to deal with it. So we let it
oh, I see.
Well, thanks for coming out today. I appreciate it. It's tournament time, and I just get jacked up every time I can see the selection show on each day. And this year was a little later, 9:30 at night, so had all day to be anxious, looking forward to it. But you know, it's a record year in the SEC. 8 teams making the NCAA tournament. That's a record ever for volleyball. And you know, when I got here in 2005, this conference was a skeleton of what it is now in terms of our sport. So you know, 3 teams hosting. You know, for us, finishing with 3 of the hottest teams in the league, you know, obviously Missouri, Florida, who are top 5 seeds, and Texas A&M, who had won 6 in a row. I think it was a great ending schedule for us to get ready for the NCAA tournament. You know, in this time of year, it takes 10 or 15% more, you know, of concentration, passion, and competitive energy and fire to advance in the tournament. But we've had 3 great practices. The energy effort has been fantastic, and now the next couple days just kind of honing in on what we need to do this weekend to be successful. So,
does your experience the last year or 2, at least for the older girls, make you feel like you're more prepared for the limelight and everything comes with the tournament?
Yeah, that's a great question. You know, people have asked me that in the past. Some other coaches have been in the tournament for the first time, and you just can't recreate the atmosphere, little extra pressure of being in the NCAA tournament. You know, it's us or them, you know, moving on after each match. And for players that haven't been in it, I mean, some players it's exciting just to be there. Other players, they understand what it's like to compete at the highest level and give yourself a chance to be successful. So I definitely think, you know, our upperclassmen being in the tournament, you know, I guess all of our returning players being in the tournament is an advantage. Does that translate into wins and losses? I'm not sure about that, but at least there's a sense of comfort. I've done this before. I have an understanding of what's at stake and how hard I need to play for my team.
You mentioned playing the tough teams at the end. What did you learn from those matches that will help you in a tournament, you think?
Well, it's a heightened level of concentration. I mean, you have to be engaged for every single point, because against good teams, it's going to be back and forth a lot. I mean, you're not going to get runs of points. You're not going to score 3, 4, 5 points at a time very easily unless teams make mistakes. And we found out real quickly against Florida that we weren't very sharp coming out and get beat 25-11. But you know, it was a great learning experience for our team to respond to that and be able to perform. And you know, a team like Texas A&M, who had won 6 straight, I mean, they brought everything at us, and we actually, didn't play great offensively. In fact, made a lot of hitting errors. But that match really helped us understand how important our defense is, because we had a lot of blocks and forced them into hitting errors themselves. Missouri match was a match they were on all cylinders and we weren't firing, and you know, I think so that match kind of helped us understand what the concentration level needs to be in practice, so you can't just show up to a match and all of a sudden perform. And you know, when you play 3 tournament teams in a row back to back to back, and 2 of them are top 5 seeds, you're playing the best in the country, and it just gives your team a great awareness of what to expect.
Do you do anything specific to practice this week to maybe address starting well? You talked about that Florida match.
Yeah, we have. We did a time drill yesterday where all of a sudden they're on the clock and they have to perform within 5 minutes and execute, and we weren't very good at it to begin with, but then you understood, and it got better as practice went on. So doing some things in practice where they're on the clock and they got to perform within a certain amount of time, I think was beneficial to us, and we're going to do a little bit more of that today in practice. But the sense of urgency to get things done is very important against good teams.
I was talking to Zane Morgan on Sunday. She specifically mentioned sort of blocking out distractions this week. What have you seen from your team in doing that? What do you maybe mean by that?
Well, you know, there's so many things going on right now with school, finals coming up, a lot of people wanting tickets, want to come to the matches that haven't been there yet, you know, all kinds of different, you know, social life and whatever it may be. I mean, you know, it's us or them time of year, and so for us to eliminate those things so that we can focus on getting our schoolwork done and then focusing on volleyball is really important, and I'm glad Zan's taken that to heart, and I think all our team is. Just based on what our concentration level has been like in practice. I think they're very serious about performing well, and they like competing with each other, so you know, it's a big part of it.
After losing 3 straight to Missouri, do you think it helped y'all's confidence to have a Florida match where even though you lost, you still rallied?
Well, no question about that. I mean, you know, it was disappointing not to win that match. I thought we played well enough to win against Florida. But the way we played in sets 2, 3, and 4 against a top 5 team in the country, I mean, that's the level we need to perform at. And we gave ourselves chances to win set 2 and then really control the match in 3 and 4. And you know, we can refer back to that. And then putting on top of that, concentrating for 2 hours, I think it you know, gives us a clear picture of how we need to perform.
What about Duquesne? What have you seen from them that's going to pose challenges on Friday?
They're a team made up of a lot of kids that have come from good club programs, so they're experienced, and they have 3 attackers very capable of putting the ball away, and we have to be very prepared in each particular rotation and understand which attacker is the one that's getting the most balls. So we played them last year and won the match, but they've improved significantly from last season and made a great run through their conference, and actually beat VCU, who took us to 5 earlier in the season on 2 occasions. So. Very good team. Very good team.
Everything else?
All right, guys. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you want me to turn this off? Oh, look at you. Short.
Hey, don't let it on you. Get it, oh man.
You're just going switch, right?
Yeah.
Someone here to go in and get them. John's not coming down, so I just don't have anybody in there that
on down here after I bring them up. What? There's no one out here.
Come on, they go that way.
Can we work it, come down, and text you to come get the rest of them?
Oh, guys can do it.
All right, yep, that's perfect. Yep, that's perfect. Thank you. Joe Giles is coming down, and then we can help the quote.
Cool. Did you hear that, Joe? What? Did you hear? Joe is coming down, so you don't worry about it.
Yeah. And we can help the quote. He said that he would have the audio, so maybe we could send him.
Yeah, I'll figure it out.
Blue on there, so.
Hey, I was just getting ready to respond to you. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna try to reconnect it. It was going back and forth between like 75 and 50%. So. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can't even fucking remember. Let me check. It says signal 100% on the Verizon adapter. Let me restart the machine. That might work. I don't know. All right, I'm connected now. I'm gonna do a mic check. Can you guys hear me on the? Can you cue me in real quick? Have Moon cue me in. No, I forgot it again. All right. Check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
I think that's it. They like emptied out everything out. They do it extra hard. She that popped it 4 or 5. I know
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do you guys have anything?
I don't really like hitting on like football or something. You know, taking all my oxygen. Those are your people out there. Media.
Where are we team practicing? I don't think we're doing any split court stuff. Not like serving, I don't know. I don't know. Yes.
Well, Carol, you see, tell me about your haircut. Well, you know what's really funny is that
I'll be back Saturday then.
Well, don't trust the bubble. No. Yep.
If you want, you got a lot, shoot up here. Yep. When you shoot down here, these things come out of this and big pathways for us to do that.
Oh, really? Be great. Be really good. Thank you.
Are you standing on one foot?
Did you see that? After they lost?
Gallery, it's like gallery, UAB beats North Carolina, he retweeted
How about that guy? That was so cool.
I think the person who wrote that is.
Yeah, I think
That's what he was
so.
saying.
He sent a direct message once.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I think just to like sort of thank me for, I told so many people to follow this back when people are playing Carolina, and I'll tweet out like, hey, you represent this team, like all that. And he sent me something else that indicated like, yeah, I didn't even say that. It's always like, I mean, like, when you go back and listen to it, I think it'll all be like, yeah, like, nothing big great. Did you do the rest of it? 3 Forks, I think? Yeah. My mom's house. Come on over.
Last year, she was in Arlington.
A lot of new ones.
What was he saying today?
About just like not embarrassing himself like
Yeah, that's right, man. So you better have that on repeat.
Right, the nearest is on the boat. Take baby shopping. Can't say where it came from or where my wedding ring is.
Anything wrong? Your video out of the record. I didn't share with that. I've had a
Hey, Cal. I'm wondering about Julius Randle.
That'd be like, oh, man, those were both sides.
Problem with this thing is I didn't let you do anything.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What about Julius Randle?
I didn't even notice him. That's amazing. He didn't ask me questions, I don't think. Of course. All I know, all I can tell you is that after everybody was gone, it was like me and him were in the other room. He was like, I've always thought it's very odd that they have a Brooklyn Dateline in this. And I was like, what's Brooklyn? I mean, he was like, it's New York City. He's like, you don't go to Louisville and write St. Matthews. And I was like, I don't think it's the same. Like,
everybody calls it Brooklyn.
yeah, I mean, I think don't all the girls get Dateline?
Yes.
I think they all Dateline every day. I think if you're in Queens, you write Queens. I'm not totally sure. No one Brooklyn is different than the others. It's like huge. Yeah. I mean, like, it has a professional sports team named the Brooklyn something. You know, like, for the most part, you're gonna put a Dateline on that. But then you have those baseball writers, right? They have an Arlington. Right. So it's like freezing. Yeah, I don't know if like you necessarily want to think like what a best place to eat. He's been to Chuck E. Cheese, really good place. I wonder what they would all tell us. Yeah. A lot of them would probably tell us Italian food would be a good choice. I know a lot of guys go to Indies. Yeah. I've seen guys tweet about Indies.
Yes. Going to Dallas? Can we postpone the game for a month? Because if it were postponed, we'd have to wait about a month and a half before we play a ranked team.
Matthew said that you called him and proposed the doubleheader. Can you just talk about how that came about and why you decided to include the women's team?
Well, this is not just about a basketball program, this athletic department. And it's about a lot of athletes, from all the different sports, and anywhere we can come together and help each other, it's good. I think to bring our listen, you're talking about two highly ranked women's programs. And I told the story to Mark Stoops about why don't we do all three. And he told Matthew, said, why don't you do Baylor and Notre Dame with us? And he said, how about we do Connecticut? But no, this should be a good trip. Both programs, we're following each other. We're trying to help each other. I stop in his office. He stops in my office. I stop in his it's overwhelming. It's great. When do they play them? It's really early.
John, their game, Baylor's game against Syracuse, they controlled much of that game. What did you make out of that one?
The games I've seen, they're really long, they're really athletic, they're a talented team. They play both man and zone. Their zone is really effective. My feel is they'll play us 95% zone. They play it different ways, but they're like us. They're so long that you're not getting the looks you think you'll get in that thing. But the good news is just about every team has played a zone. And the one thing I want to tell you, there's a cohesiveness to playing this game. And against man-to-man, we don't seem to be as cohesive as we do against zone. And I don't. My answer to you would be because you have to pass it against zone. You can't just come down and make a play. You got to pass the ball, move it inside, kick it out, drive it, do it. And all of a sudden, we become a cohesive team. So I really don't care that people play a zone. That's fine. It makes us come together. And it also showed me on our offense, we got to pass the ball a little bit more. Now, there's a difference in transition you go, but, in half-court offense, we got to pass it some.
Cal Julius said, he's always been double and triple team, but in high school it's different kinds of defenders. How's he adjusting to just bigger guys, double and triple?
The only thing I said, quit trying to be perfect. You're trying to act like you should make every play. Just stop. Just play harder than the other guy. Just worry about that. Don't worry about anything else. I can't make this shot. I missed that shot. So what? Doesn't matter. But he's doing fine. He's doing fine.
You mentioned in Brooklyn, you thought he was getting roughed up a little bit. Has he done a good job maintaining his composure?
Well, I was on a conference call with a bunch of coaches yesterday, and they're talking about the rules. And I said, scoring, is up 6 points per game at this time last year. So don't talk about conference play and all. The games that were played to this point last year, scoring's up 6 points. How much of that is free throws? Under 50%. So scoring is up. It's doing what it's supposed to. The absolute head and shoulders by the guy, contact is a foul on the defense. I raise the ball and you're not standing there two-footed, it's a block. Okay? How about another absolute? If you throw it in the post and the man moves the ball to shoot and you come down, it's an automatic foul. Why not add that? If he's holding it and you grab it out of his hand, it's okay. He goes to score and you come down, automatic. Now, when I told the coaches, one chuckled, and I said, I am being self-serving now. But I think it eliminates me or anybody else worrying about, did you hit his arm? Did he grab him? Did he grab instead of hit? It eliminates it. So anything we can take out of the officials' hands and make it out, it's an absolute. You just call it. They now get rated, and it's very simple. That's an absolute. Why didn't you call that? Well, I thought, whoa, you don't have to think. It's an absolute. As soon as you see it, blow that whistle. So there are still things, I think, to clean up this game. I like the way the game is being played. Faster, more scoring. You can't foul on every possession. You can't foul 4 times on the same possession. You can't anymore. Unless the crew is going to get penalized. They won't be in the NCAA tournament. You referee a game like that, you will not be in the NCAA tournament. So
Good chuckle.
I couldn't tell because it was a phone call.
You talk about just playing at Cowboy Stadium and that atmosphere, the Final Four type atmosphere, and what that does.
Yeah, we're not going to have 80,000 there, but my hope is that because of the games that are being played, everybody's ranked. It's going to be a terrific environment. And then to play in that building, I haven't been in the building, but everybody tells me it's just ridiculous. They're moving the court to one side, but the court will be raised, so it'll be like that kind of environment. But I'm excited. Look, we need to play another ranked team to find out where we are at this point. It's not about winning and losing. You want to win every game. It is about, let's just keep learning where we need to go with this team.
Is this the best any opponent you've played so far has been able to match your length?
No, Michigan State had some length. They were long. I mean,
7-footers hitting threes.
Yeah, well, they're different, but they were big. They had two big guys in there, and their wing was big and athletic. So,
Cal, will you guys get in a couple of times before to just shoot in that place and see what it's like?
we'll practice in there Thursday and probably shoot around Friday. So we'll have two looks, and the women will be the same.
Do you have any concerns about that, about just them adjusting to how big it is and trying to shoot in it?
No.
Do you feel like Julius and the twins and those guys are overly excited, or maybe feel more pressure going home in Texas? They're going to have family there watching them.
I don't know. We haven't talked about it yet. We're so focused on us right now. We haven't talked Baylor at all.
How concerned are you about John Hood at this point? What's his status?
Well, you know, again, because I was there when it happened, and he practiced later, but he had headaches. And I know our doctors, and I trust our doctors. They are going to be really conservative in what we're doing here with him. And so I am concerned, but I'm also knowing he's in great hands, and no one's going to ask him to do something that he should not do.
When you said you seem more cohesive against a zone than man-to-man right now, is that unusual for one of your teams at this point in the season?
I don't know, but what's happened is the zone is making us pass the ball. So we're playing off of one another way better. In the man, we don't seem to pass it as much. We hold it more. You know what I'm saying? It's just, and I didn't realize until I'm watching the tape. So we have to, then against man, you have to pass it more. If you don't have an easy play, get rid of it. Move the ball.
Is that what hurt you in the first half the other night's first? Turnovers, holding the ball too long, or?
I don't remember. You're talking the Providence game?
Yeah, I think you had like 6 or 7 turnovers.
Well, we had a couple guys had the majority of them, so the rest of the team I don't think was that bad.
In Chicago tonight, you guys came out slow at the start, then you go to Brooklyn, played well at the beginning of the game. Is this, you look at this sort of a measuring stick for the neutral site, kind of a tournament environment for this team where they are?
Starting, I want to see how we play. Obviously, we started better last game, and we're more aggressive. But, this is about, are we playing with energy throughout? How many times do we stop? Whether we're on offense or defense, do I pass the ball and I stand straight up, I get the ball, and I walk because I have to take it down before I drive? How many times on defense do I just stand straight up and my man runs off a screen and I go, oh? How many times do we have that happen? It's narrowing from 50 times a game to 20 times a game. Now, you really want to be good. Every minute you're in there, you don't stop. You play until you sub yourself. But we've got a ways to go.
Last question. What kind of things are you appreciating about what Willie's doing now? Just playing defense, running the floor, and anything in general?
Well, I asked the team, why do you think Willie played that way? Why is he now coming into his own? One guy said, well, he's not thinking out there. I said, well, you can say that, but you got to think. It's a statement, you don't think. That's not true. He's reacting better, and I'll tell you why. Because he's practicing like crazy. He is attacking practices, which make the games easier. We have other guys that the practice is attacking them every day. One guy shut it down. I can't breathe. And they looked at his heart rate, and it was at 82%. Well, then you have a lung disease. Okay, so it's not, you just can't push through the comfort level. There are times that I have a couple guys, their heart rate gets in the 90s, and I tell them, they'll tell me, 94, who? Willie, step off, Willie. Step off, Dominic. Another guy, we should be, what's it? 74. What? What are you doing? Get off. Go on a treadmill. Get his heart rate up. But everything like leg work. My legs are burning. That's how they're supposed to feel. That's the feeling. How do you push to where you can't? We had EJ, who people were coming in watching him saying he should be all conference in track in the SEC. I had a football coach come in and say he could play in the NFL, EJ. So he does a leg drill that we're doing. He does it so hard, he practically falls down, and the team's watching. That's how hard you go. That's how much you push it. It's all new. This stuff is all new. We're doing drills that 8th grade, they should have been doing in 8th grade that they obviously didn't. But I'm not going to get ahead of schedule with this group. We are what we are right now.
What kind of things is Willie doing?
It's just, whatever it is, the last part of every drill, he's going like he's no tomorrow. Versus other guys looking at the clock trying to get through the drill. There's a difference. You finish the drill, the hardest part is those last 7, 8 seconds. And the other guy's looking at the clock. Can I get through the clock? You're not going to get better. What got you here won't get you there. You've got to change. And so some guys are changing, Willie's changing. Other guys are not. And it's until they accept they got to change, they won't. But all in all, I've been really pleased. I'm dragging this team faster than they need to go yet. Taking some things back to the very elementary things that they needed to be doing when they got here. Thanks, folks.